Hello there. Hope you're well. Reverend Tim here, celebrating the harvest with you. Harvest and Harvest Festival is such a special time of year. Even our dog, Dinah, has been enjoying helping herself to the blackberries as we've gone out walking in the fields around Ursdon and Backworth. Such a fantastic time of year. The early autumn, lovely sunshine today, but a lovely fresh smell in the air, and free food, ladies and gentlemen, on the brambles. Our dog helping herself to the blackberries. A really hard work time of year for our farmers. I live in Ursdon, and so it's been really amazing these last few weeks to see great, huge tractors and farm machinery trundling past. Quite late into the night, actually, sometimes about 9:30. At night, I'll be sitting at my desk, and then this big lit tractor will trundle by, pulling its great load of hay or straw or wheat, or whatever has been being harvested. Thank you, God, for our farmers and for their hard work. And as we're thinking about the harvest, I wanted to show you something really special. It's this apple, still with all its leaves, because I've just harvested this apple from a very special tree just outside my front door. This tree, an apple tree, was given to us as a lovely leaving gift when we left Cheltenham, where we were till recently, to move up to Ursdon and Backworth and Whitley Bay. What a lovely present to give somebody an apple tree, which we planted. And last year, it was his first full year, there were only 2 apples. But this year, there have been 8, and this is one of them. I've just harvested it to show you as we think about the harvest. I don't know about you, but to me, an apple is a miracle. There's no other word. From a tiny pip hidden inside the apple grows this great big tree on which hangs luscious fruit, which is good for us and which we need to keep soul and body alive. So thank you, tree. I've harvested the apple from its leaves. There it is. Thank you so much, kind people who brought us this tree. That's one of the special words about harvest, isn't it? Thank you. Just thank you for all the good things that we're given, and thank you particularly for delicious food, because I can cut this apple with this knife. Just be careful, don't forget that knives can be very dangerous. Cut out the miraculous pips inside. If I wanted to grow another apple tree, I've got a lovely juicy segment of apple. I'll tell you, that is so nice. It's just amazing, isn't it? Lovely, juicy. It's good for you. It's grown from a pip. It was a gift from people who loved us. We're sad to see us leave. It's now growing in our garden. Blimey, what's not to like? Thank you. And as a Christian, someone trying to live as Jesus calls me to live, I want to say thank you, God, for the harvest and for all just the wonderful things, the lovely gifts that we are given. And at harvest, because we're grateful for all the good things we're given, forgive me while I still enjoy this apple, but maybe you ought to swallow it so you can hear me better. Because we're so grateful for all the good things that we have, at Harvest Festival it's lovely to share. And at St Albans in Ursdon and St John's in Backworth, there are 2 particular ways in which we're doing that. We're collecting lots of non-perishable food, so stuff in tins, bottles and jars, for the People's Kitchen in Newcastle. for people who don't have as much as we do. We're also looking to raise money at St Albans and St John's. My brother Andrew works with a project in Tanzania in Africa, helping farmers to increase the yield of their harvest. In other words, to get more food from the stuff that they plant. And there are two ideas that are really dead simple. One was that somebody noticed that the soil wasn't very good and that people were only growing crops that they ate that year and then starting again all from scratch the next year. And someone said a really simple thing. Look, why don't you grow some crops that you're not going to eat, you're just growing it, because you can then plough that back into the soil as fertiliser, and then the soil will get better, and next year you will have more food. What a simple idea that is. And another simple idea, the farmers in Tanzania, in Africa, were finding that the grain that they had grown was being eaten by insects, and they were losing lots of their grain to hungry insects, who I suppose have a right to live as well and a right to eat the grain, but maybe not too much of the family's grain. But what a simple idea they came up with. Put the wheat inside sealed plastic sacks and then bury it under the floor of your mud hut, so that when you need that grain, you can just dig it up again, open the plastic, and what happens, it's probably a bit horrible for a school assembly, but because the plastic is sealed, all the insects have suffocated and much less of the grain has been eaten. So at St Albans and St John's this harvest, we're hoping to raise £400, and that will pay for an outreach worker to go and visit villages in Tanzania, in Africa, and help the farmers to grow more crop to feed their families and then look after it so that less of it gets eaten by hungry insects. So harvest, what a special time of year. We say thank you for good things like this wonderful apple grown outside my front door as a love gift from people when we left Cheltenham. And because of that gratitude, that thankfulness, wanting to share the good things that we have, those non-perishables, jars, tins, bottles, for the People's Kitchen in Newcastle, and a gift of money to help farmers in Tanzania learn how to farm better and feed their families better. So kind of all of this has put me in mood for a song. It's a simple song that you can add any number of verses to. I'm just going to enjoy my apple another time before we sing. So nice. I wish I could put taste on YouTube. Anyway, that's now put me in mind to sing this. Thank you, God, for juicy fruit. Thank you, God, for juicy fruit. Thank you, God, for juicy fruit. Now it's harvest time. I just swallow my juicy fruit and then point out that you can fit any number of different words to this song, like this. Thank you, God, for fish and chips. Thank you, God, for fish and chips. Thank you, God, for fish and chips. Now it's harvest time. And I've often in my time asked people to come up with their own verses for that song. And the one that was the most fun to fit to it was this. Thank you, God, for ham and pineapple pizza. Thank you, God, for ham and pineapple pizza. Thank you, God, for ham and pineapple pizza. Now it's harvest time. Lovely lovely to be with you today. Happy harvest. Don't forget to say thank you for all the good things you've been given. And if you can, share them with people who have less than you. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.